All right, so hello everyone. You have some late night Michi audio, and boy howdy, this is a rant video and a hardcore rant video. I did a shorter version of this on my TikTok, but I wanted to go, yeah. And if you guys didn't know, more and more of you people are finding me. I do have a TikTok now. I am actively uploading on it, and yeah, I like it there. But boy howdy is the art community on TikTok. People really did just move from YouTube, didn't they? It's so aggravating. Anyway, so this is a rant, and if this is for some weird reason your guys' first time listening to me here, hopefully my mic is not blown out like it was last time. That was irritating. Hi, my name is Michelle or Michi. I am a freelance illustrator slash artist. I have been doing this whole thing and this self-employed thing for quite a while. I would say full time, easily since 2015, where I would get some small part time jobs here and there to make up for stuff, or I would do odd jobs for things. And all of my other social medias are in the Linktree link down below, and I want to thank my patrons. You saw their card at the beginning. We got the shill, we got good. Alright, so let's get into this. So, late night Michi audio is when I am an insomniac, because I am a person that lives with chronic pain. Great. Also, just chronic insomniac. Been that way my whole life. So I have to record at 3:44 a.m. when I'm recording the audio for this, because it's when inspiration struck, and I got my paper ASMR here, and let's get into it. So I am seeing on the TikToks a lot of people who don't know what the heck they are talking about. Getting mad at artists because, the United States is traveling and opening up more. Because they're getting mad at artists for, traveling for art shows, so they could make their money and pay their bills and buy food. They're getting mad at them because artists like us are calling people out, because they're like, hey, it really sucks that, people who know they have Six Becky Round Boy are flying across the country and going into multiple airports and, just infecting people. All because, man, they really wanted that anime wife titty pillow. And, instead of getting mad at that, they're like, oh, well, you're hypocrites because you're traveling for work. And I just love this. This is sarcasm speaking, by the way. Oh my good golly gosh. I love when, people like myself, will go through and will like, oh, hey, we're going to explain why we're doing this thing, and how often cases a lot of us don't like it, and people just don't want to use their brain. They just don't want to think. They're just like, no, you're a hypocrite. No, you're dumb. And it comes back around to this in the year of our Lord 2022. I thought we were done with the we'll go get a real job debate, but I guess we're not. I am sassy and angry tonight, and yeah, the reason why I say that is because I want to point something out. As someone who's relatively successful on the internet, I like to say I am a blip on the map over like being a big thing on the map, but I am on the map. I am lucky enough that the algorithm favored me enough of the magical internets that I have been able to grow my following steadily on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, DeviantArt, like I said, all the other places in my description down below, because I've been doing this kind of thing since high school, and I've been dipping my little toesies into the convention scene, and I've gotten into a few conventions, but my favorite is when artists live in other states, because cost of living is horrible, and they explain like, oh well, I make more money to where I can not to work myself to the bone to where I have to die. Or maybe I have a mental illness or a disability that makes working a finger quote normal job a little hard to do. And in the Americas, our disability system is corrupt AF. And I'm trying so hard not to curse right now because I don't want to have to edit this, but I might have to. So it's hard because, YouTube constraints. But with that being said, because if you guys didn't know, in most of the 50 states, if a disabled person makes more than I think it's 2 grand last time I checked. And that's collective, by the way. So if you get married to a person with a disability, and collectively you make more than 2 grand a month, then you just, our government decides you're just not disabled anymore, and you don't get that money or benefits or discounts on your medicine or going to the hospital, because you're making more than 2 grand a month. That's clearly enough for rent, your medication, bills, food in America in 2022. Again, being very sarcastic here, because even in very, very, very low income states, that doesn't cover anything. It's why I know a lot of people who are on disability tend to often live with a lot of people or family members, or live with a partner they would love to get married, but they can't because our government's corrupt. And sadly, a lot of artists are that way. And I am lucky. I'm talking about me right now, me, Michi. I live in Southern California. Oh, do I talk about how much I hate it here because the cost of living is horrible? Yes. But as someone who's trying to get into the convention circuit, I'm definitely not doing it full time. I emotionally will not be able to handle it because, like I said earlier, I do live with chronic pain, and I also have emotional issues. That's not for, sympathy points, it's simply stating a fact. I have been properly diagnosed. It's not here or there. So doing conventions takes a lot out of me, but I do want to do more, and I do like traveling for them sometimes, but I usually travel pre-six-pack round boy to visit, my friends and things like that, as well as working. But in Southern California, pre-pandemic, there were conventions almost every single weekend. I know because I have a friend who I did for my convention series a while back, who she was really excited when she moved here because she was able to get into shows. We had art shows and conventions every single weekend. That's because I live in Southern California, where we have tons of stadiums, tons of centers, tons of swap meets, tons of nerd culture, because we have a lot of people here. And I know for a fact, from just following artists for years and seeing things, I know that specifically the big conventions like Anime Expo or I think it's Fanime. I think Fanime is in California, but I think it's in Northern Cali. And, SAC Anime. Some people will make the entirety of their bills for 6 months working at that one con. Now, granted, that's people who've been doing it for a long time, but it's a lot of people that they rely on that money to work because it's more than what they would make working a minimum wage part-time job somewhere. Because, it's what we just love being told. It's well, you can go get a real job. It's oh, okay, what can I get? Because these are my skills and they're really niche. And then they're oh, work for a studio. And I'm oh, hey, fun fact. You ever go on Twitter lately? And by the way, this is not knocking artists in the industry, but they openly talk about it. How once your show or your thing is contracted up and you don't have a lot of networking, there's a reason why you see people applying for jobs every 6 months. It is not a stable job. For a lot of them, they try doing it in networking until they can get enough freelance to where they're making up for a full-time job. Again, this is easily Googleable knowledge that you can look up and research, and it's there all the time. The proof is in the pudding. I even have friends who work for a pretty big studio, and the only reason they keep getting jobs is because their partner is in with that big studio and been in with that big studio for many a year. So, because they have the stability and the networking, they can keep getting jobs and it won't be that bad. That ain't everybody, And so, when you want to be an artist, sometimes it's an unstable career. And a lot of people, they love to bring up the well, you shell your shop all the time. Well, you're doing this and that. Well, the Etsy boom of 2020, the Shopify, look at all this. Look at the sticker stuff. I opened a sticker shop during the Panini. I'd be a hypocrite if I said that it didn't help my business a lot. And it didn't help my brand. It did. It's been some great side cash. But it is in no way my main income. I make all of my income from my multiple sources online, from a networking perspective that I have worked years to get. I'm going to let you guys in on a little super secret right now, because I have some friends who do conventions full time. Their artwork is beautiful. Their artwork is amazing. I've got a good small core group of friends who are very different, and they in no way have the same social media presence that I have. Not even close. But you know what they do? They make, for a fact, 10 times more than I do, because they work conventions, and that's where most of their money comes. So, yeah, are they working themselves to the bone, doing conventions every weekend? Most likely, but that gives them the rest of the week to do whatever the heck they want. They can work on their projects, they can work on their store, and then they can work on con prep. Or some of them are in even better positions to where they do really, really well at some cons that they can be like, you know what, I'm just going to go take a break for like a month because I made so much money at this convention because I've worked at my merch. Now, granted, these are all people that are, these are people who are very veteran in the con circuit. And their social media numbers don't reflect that because it's a whole different market out there. And I saw this one TikTok of this poor person. I will use they, them pronouns because I didn't know what their pronouns were. And they were crying because they were explaining, I live in North Carolina, I believe they said. And they were like, we only have like one convention center and one big-ish convention a year. So I have to travel. I have to do this and that. And do I want to travel? No, but we live in America, and during the Panini, we weren't like a lot of the other first world countries. We really weren't. It was terrible. When I saw people who lived in other countries where they were getting $1,500 a month per person, no problems, they were doing fine. Some were getting even up to $2,000. I saw some places that were getting up to $5,000 in some countries. And granted, their lockdowns were probably more severe than here, and they good for them, you know, because I live in America and I hate it here. But you know what our government did for the year and a half? They gave us, I think it was almost $4,000, maybe, depending on if you had kids, for, you know, pretty much a year and a half of lockdown. That's not enough for anything. It's why a lot of Americans put their stuff into their business or their savings. But, like, this doesn't help at all. This doesn't help me pay my mortgage. This doesn't help me get my meds. This, cool, cute. Maybe I don't pay rent 1 month, but I know for a fact when we got our stimmy, my husband and I didn't even pay fully of our rent 1 month. So we were like, cool, got some savings. It's literally how I got my new computer upgrade. And when we got the second one, I got my printer from it because we were like, there's no point. It just doesn't do anything. Now, there were people that did help, but that's it. So, yeah. And this person, the person who I'm using they, them pronouns for this video, they were explaining how they're like, oh, yeah, I flew out. I did not want to. I'm immune compromised, but I literally, they're like, sometimes in my shop, I can make a bunch of orders, and sometimes I can make 2 a week. When I was there, I made the entirety of my monthly bills in 1 day, and I have a whole other day of the con. The money talks. The money shows it. And I love when people are like, well, you chose this. I'm like, oh, you chose a global pandemic, you random artist that's just trying to pay your bills and live life and not, you know, KYS. It's the artist's fault? I don't see how that makes sense. I just don't. During some hard times, I was looking for some part-time work to try to even out my thing. And while looking for work, again, where I live, in Southern California, and I live in a pretty decent city, near some pretty big theme parks. So I was like, there's jobs everywhere. It'll be easy. You want to know what happened? Because I hear people like, oh, you get $15 an hour. Why are you even complaining? That's so much money. First of all, we're supposed to be getting it in every county. It's not cute. It's not because, you know, government's corrupt. I got hired for a place where they told me I would be getting four hours a week until I worked my way up, and then I would earn my hours at this job. And I looked at them and I was like, it is $50 to fill up my car because of how crazy gas prices are right now. So I'm not even making enough money, because it's after this is not after taxes, to put gas in my car to go to this part-time job to try to even out my workload, when I'm currently making more doing what I'm doing than doing that. And I'm not knocking people who work part-time jobs or have good hours and do things like that, but I have another friend of mine that is currently struggling really, really hard with a finger quote real job, because her job just went up too, she doesn't live out here, rose their price, their per hour. And you know what happened? Oh my god, her hours got cut. So now she's making less money on, like, I think in her state it's like $12 an hour, which is a big deal because she doesn't live here. She's making less than she did when she was making $8. Oh my god. So now she's been telling me, she's like, I'm thinking of making a side hustle. I don't know what to do. And I was telling her, like, yeah, dude, get on this thing. But here's another thing. You see bigger TikTokers, you see bigger YouTubers, you see bigger Etsy stores, and a lot of us got lucky. That's the bottom line. A lot of the algorithm favored a thing, pushed us into the algorithm, the evil algorithm gods. People found our content. I cannot tell you how many times I've found amazing artists with super small followings, super this and that. And I feel such imposter syndrome with where I am. I'm like, why is this person, they don't have as many numbers as I do. Why is this happening? Like, oh my god, this person has like such a great store. They have such this and that. And I want to lift them up and I want to do things. And then I look at myself and I'm like, wow, I really got lucky, didn't I? And that's the bottom line with this whole social media thing. I got lucky. Do I work hard? Yes. Yes, I did. But my hard work got me lucky. I made my own luck. Because I believe in that. And so when people are trying to go out there, when people are literally just trying to live, especially when they're trying to live in lower income states, maybe they also like that state, they love that thing, and their literal only option is to travel, we need to talk about, the government. But then people are like, well, we can't fix that. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're attacking the single artist that's literally doing this job to try to pay their bills, to try to exist in this world, because they make livable money. You're getting mad at them. But you get mad when we're upset that people who knowingly have Six Spiky Round Boy go to an anime con. You're mad at the artists. You're mad at the vendors. You're not mad at the selfish person that wanted a day of fun over the people just trying to make a living. Make it make sense. So there's my rant. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a while since I made one, and oh, does it feel? It feels so good to do a rant again. I love you all so much. And yeah, stop it. Stop being rude. And when people explain why they do a thing, and you just don't like the explanation, that's on you. Especially when it comes to artists explaining their work and why they're doing things and why maybe they don't want to do a thing. Just food for thought. So yeah, we got really spicy each night, but I felt like it. So thank you for listening. Love you all so much. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.